Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description. Alright, as long as she stays here in the video frame, which she probably won't, this is pretty darn cute. But I did want to talk about, kind of came to me a little while ago, thought forms and problems. So you can kind of think of this as we're going to talk about the psychological model, and then we're going to talk about the spiritual model slash energetic model when it comes to thought forms. So anytime that we have like difficulties, particularly habits or even slumps, like we're talking negative emotional slumps, even technically happy emotional slumps, they can be thought forms. Now I remember when I was a kid, I watched this video called A Haunting, or there was a series on, I think, like the History Channel or the Discovery Channel, back when they had really good TV shows, where this lady had a lot of PTSD and depression, and she started experiencing poltergeist activity in the house, and it was like really crazy. Congratulations, that's a thought form. And now they're not all up to that kind of level. I would argue that that is a very, very, very rare case, but you can think of it in terms of an addiction. So let's kind of go with that here, because I do have experience with that kind of stuff. So, you know, if you're trying to quit something, I mean, this could even be something like I'm struggling with right now, to be honest, ice cream, or coffee, or sugary drinks, or things like that. I had to kick the coffee because of, well, years ago, anyways. I don't want YouTube to demonetize me. Where when you create this habitual thing of always like finding yourself in an emotional slump where you're very sad, that is building up a schema in your mind of where you're attributing all these different things around you through this sad lens. It's your viewpoint. It becomes a core belief. And then no matter what anybody tries to do, like showing you a really, really good time, or even when good things happen to you, you might not perceive them as being something as good as it is, because you're seeing everything from that sad lens, because this huge schema is built around how your life sucks and everything is so sad. You ever met someone where their life is just full of bad luck and other things like that? One, they're going to perceive everything as bad luck, and they're going to perceive everything as being negative. And two, energetically, you're going to attract more of that stuff, right? So even when it comes to like addiction or whatever, if I continue to eat ice cream, then I am going to think about ice cream all the time. So then my brain is going to be wrapped around the idea of ice cream. So if I'm stressed out or if I'm hot, my brain's going to be like, "Yo, you want some ice cream?" Right? That might sound pretty good right about now, right? I have some in the freezer right over there. I might have some after this video, no joke. But so that's from like the psychological model. You're building up these patterns in your mind that will continue to hammer at you about doing the same thing over and over and over, because your brain is a pattern machine. It gets used to something, it likes it, it does not want to think about anything new because that requires more energy, and your brain is always trying to conserve energy. Because your brain can't, it has a hard time running a deficit of energy, because then it starts to drain you. So that's the psychological model of stuff. The energetic model, which is what I'm going to go for the thought forms and stuff, is more of an external thing. This is particularly with negative emotions and negative things, where you can, if you suppress negative emotions and negative energy and things like that, it needs an outlet. It needs somewhere to go, and you can actually have the case where that energy kind of still stays attached to you, and then it will influence the way that you interact with the world and the way that you see the world. So you almost have this concept of like a loyal soldier, I've heard it being called, where you'll be able, like, it will attract those same kinds of things to you, because energy attracts, energy that vibes with it. So it you have this strong energy that's going to influence you to go to situations to continue to feel negative, to continue to have bad luck, to even, continue to influence you to imbibe in ice cream or other things that might be addictive and whatever stuff stuff like that. And even in like that case of that lady from the haunting episode, that repressed negative energy, if you're not dealing with it, and this could be because maybe you blocked it out. I have experience with that. Or you just don't want to deal with it, so you keep pushing it under the rug. It needs somewhere to go. And that energy, if someone is arguably psychically strong enough, can become external. And then that energy, that desire, that drive, all that call for change, as it were, or arguably even the call for things to stay the same. In the case of the poltergeist thing, it was a call for change. It was all that built up rage and stuff like that from her trauma. It couldn't find an outlet in here, so it became external. And then it started, knocking down dishes and shutting cabinet doors and all this other stuff. But we can have things that we generate that are attached to us that then nudge us to, just go ahead and have one more drink. You can quit tomorrow. Have one more spoonful of ice cream. It's not that many more calories, really, is it? Stuff like that. So one of the best ways to deal with this kind of thing is like the IOB technique, which I'm trying to remember what book I read this from. It might be in Modern Magic by Craig. If you haven't seen that book, buy it, by the way. And I do have a mention of it in my book, Mastering Ritual Magic, which you can also find in the link tree down below. But you identify the pattern or the behavior or the thought form. You can even externalize anything that is negative to you as a thought form. You might not have to have concrete evidence that it is a thought form, but if you have a bad habit, or, a bad habit like an addiction, or, just even depression can be externalized. J.K. Rowling with the idea of the Dementors, right? That was an externalization of in a way of her expressing how she felt that depression was. So she externalized it. She identified it, and then you objectify it. Hey, this particular thing that I'm dealing with, that is telling me that I should eat ice cream 3 times a day, that is not me. That is that is energy that is attached to me, and I have every right and the power to get rid of it. And then you banish it by saying, that is not mine anymore. I don't want it. I am different from that. It's not part of me. I don't take that in. I don't identify with that. I am not, like, full disclosure here. I used to be an alcoholic. Full disclosure. I don't call myself an alcoholic anymore. Why? Because I've been sober for 7 years. And because, when I don't identify with it, it's because I don't have a struggle with it anymore. I could care less about drinking. I don't even have like a craving for it or whatever. Now, there are people that are struggling with addictions and different things like that, where they have to fight it every single damn day. And kudos to those that are doing that, because that is gosh darn hard, right? If you've never been through that, then you don't know the struggle, because I was there at one point. And now that I don't call myself an alcoholic because I don't have to fight with it anymore, I have a super amount of distance between me and it, so it doesn't affect me anymore. Now, you can work your way towards that, and even a change in identity can help you to change a particular behavior, to banish a kind of thought form. You have a habit of staying in bed for 2 hours after you wake up. I'm not a morning person. Well, congratulations, you just told yourself you're not a morning person, so what's the likelihood you're going to change that? I'm becoming a morning person. You're distancing yourself from that particular thought, that thought form that has been so strong of years and years and years of not getting out of bed. And thus, when you push yourself away from that, you are here, and not a morning person is over here. The more that you say you are a morning person, the more you're gravitating towards this new thing and making a positive schema, a positive thought form. And the other one that says that, you are definitely a night owl, or you say to yourself, I suck at waking up in the morning, you're pushing that away. So you can do this in meditation, in visualization. You identify what the problem is. You go into meditation, and you picture what it looks like. It could be anything, It could be the thing you're addicted to. You could see a beer bottle. right? And I am not an alcoholic. And you yell at it to go away. You can use any kind of banishments. You can do a what's it called? A flaming cross. Yeshua, Yeshua. You can do, you can banish it with a pentacle. You can do Bara Bara Edinazu, which comes out of here. You can do any kind of thing. You can even do just any regular prayer, whatever works for you. You even make one up. And you push it and you see it going farther and farther and farther and farther away from you. And you make that a daily thing, and that thought form isn't going to be bugging you anymore. You know, of course, then you have to do your mundane, everyday life follow through where you work on being different than what you were. Because that thought form, if you watch my video on hooks, it can still get back in because that door isn't fully closed until you've done it for a while. They said it takes like 21 days to build a new habit. It's kind of like that, but could be way longer for other people. You know, so hopefully you guys are understanding what I'm saying with this kind of thing. But basically, thought forms can be created through the buildup of energy or buildup of a psychological schema around a certain idea. And then they can start to have an influence on you that is subconscious and outside of your control. That's the difference between I am me and I choose to do what I want to do versus something is influencing me. We can see that in a psychological model or on a spiritual / energetic model. It kind of bridges both. And then we have methods of eliminating that, like the identify, objectify, banish technique. Let me know if this video helped you out, and if you have any experience with these kinds of things. Let me know any other topics you want me to make videos on, and definitely hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't, because I do this kind of stuff with spiritual topics every single week. Thank you very much to my Patreon supporters and my YouTube channel members that got this video a month early. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Good hunting.